gmail.com.
I pressed the wrong one.
The Joel. This edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a post-Thanksgiving Black Friday pre-Dolphins game edition of the Lunchbox, coming to you live today from 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. A little bit of an overcast day, but they are racing here at Gulfstream. And we've got the quite capable Ken, the professor, filling in for Mike Luby Lubitz.
He's scrambling like Brad Tarkenton right now.
He's eating his second Thanksgiving meal today with his in-laws. I ate two in one day yesterday, but I don't know if we need to talk about that here. Jeff Defo at the Forest, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was fantastic. It really was heartening. Many good things happened. The family is a beautiful thing. Get together with. I had a grandchildren. They're doing great. And all of the people in the immediate family, it's nice to have like really terrific people comprising your lifetime, and had a good time. Catered. My son had it catered by Whole Foods. This would be something to analyze for Mike Mayo. And then I brought the Tommy T lasagna, which I picked up. What's the name of that brewery that we were at? You went down there too, didn't you?
Oh, don't ask me any questions. Lauder Ale. I'm now trying to get us loaded onto the Let's Eat South Florida
because
Facebook
of
group.
Luby sabotage
Well,
that occurred
it's not
earlier
even Luby sabotage.
today.
It's just that
Strictly
with
Luby
Luby gone,
sabotage,
I am now trying to do certain things, which is going to make for a very entertaining time. How about let's throw it to Ken, the professor. How are you doing today, the professor? And I think you're going to be floating on cloud nine pretty soon because you're just so excited by all the racing and the betting and the college football games.
Maybe other things that
football
contribute to that cloud nine effect with the professor here.
I had a good Thanksgiving. Everybody kind of wondered why I wanted to watch the Arizona-Michigan State game in the middle of all the football games.
What, a basketball game?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Here's a little action involved.
Wow. And successful?
Plus, I just don't want to watch the Cowboys game. Like, how boring was that? I mean, what's the point of
what
these?
What a gimme that was in terms of the points.
And then everybody, because I'm in a household full of women, and women love the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell for some reason.
Absolutely. 100%.
They were mad as I was screaming and throwing things at the television and repeatedly calling him a retard during
what was wrong with
game.
going for a fake punt from your own 20 when you're still in the ball game?
I mean, really, at the point,
with a 4th and 16 or whatever.
At this point, this guy is like an 8-year-old playing Tecmo Bowl. You know he's going to run like 5 reverses. And
oh my God!
4 go fake punts per game. Like how are you not? I mean, I get to the computer and John Madden never figures it out. But
I was getting 8.5.
Set on easy.
I was getting 8.5 with Green Bay. I would have thought that I would have gotten creamed in that ball game.
Oh,
but,
very nice.
Green Bay kind of awakening a little bit from the dead of late. I don't know if Jordan Love is ever going to be a top-notch pro quarterback worthy of pissing off Aaron Rodgers to the level that the Packers did when they drafted him. But he acquitted himself pretty well in a game, and
I mean, I think
you're still
Aaron
never
Rodgers
sure.
is just fun at this point.
What's that?
I think pissing off Aaron Rodgers is just fun at this point. So
he's coming back. He's coming back stronger than Mayo. He's coming back. Where are you at with this thing with the Facebook?
Well, you guys can stretch a little longer.
Okay,
I'd
be happy to talk degenerate gambling here.
I actually hit a parlay on the new Hard Rock betting app yesterday because I was a lunatic enough to
I heard the Hard Rock was almost in a position where they had to close because of the money you made on this thing.
I was doing those little incremental, stupid $5, $10 bets that drives the professor nuts because that's how these apps are going to make all their money from people trying to like hit these stupid parlays. But I actually, again, I told Luby and you yesterday, I texted you that I deposited $100 into the new betting account.
Did you end up with zero?
I said, what are the odds of me having any money left at the end of the day? And it was exactly 0.70 was the prediction.
Yes.
But lo and behold, the first game, I did 2 little kind of weird teaser bets, and I had an inkling that the Packers were going to win outright. So I did a 2-way
You did a money
teaser.
line?
Packers on the money line with over 46.5, and that late garbage Lions TD put me over, and the Packers won. It was plus 650. I turned $5 into $37.50, and that got me rolling. I am one happy degenerate today.
You knocked the Seminoles right out of business.
Yes.
They'll be shutting down the app today.
To be clear, my objection to this is not that people want to bet 16-team $5 parlay. I mean, that's how football cards have existed for the parlay cards have existed in bars.
Didn't those always look like ransom notes?
I have no problem with that. My issue is that, number one, the betting apps are clearly targeting young bettors with this, whether it's Better, the Jake Paul one, whether it's DraftKings going out and hiring celebrities. And number two, they are trying to train people that this is the way you're supposed to play, is you're supposed to throw, an 8-team parlay with 5 stupid props about the backup running backs receiving yards.
I like the in-game stuff when, you're betting whether they'll get to the 50-yard line and they started to drive on the 30.
And what I mostly object to is if you pay attention to the internet, particularly Facebook and Instagram and Twitter with this, they are using hot chicks to sell it. So as,
are they real hot chicks or artificial intelligence?
Who knows? Who can tell and who matters at this point?
That's it. Hey,
and as a fat guy who has been the foundation
Relax,
of this particular industry, fat guys telling you what to bet while looking unattractive on television, I object to this whole marketing strategy. I don't want to compete with Kevin Hart and some chick who looks like she should be in a bikini while talking about the Cowboys-Redskins game.
Like Dolly Parton. Yes.
I got to say, looking good for 77.
77. That was pretty daring, wasn't it? Now, come on, Mayo. Could you have worn that Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders outfit with the same confidence?
No. Dolly Parton was
Dolly Parton
very strong. And we were, just looking and marveling the fact that, look, I guess not many of her body parts are natural, but it's been that way since she was in her 30s.
Nobody really,
but
had any concern about
that. The figure was very, very, for somebody of her age, very impressive.
I didn't see it, but everybody was trashing the halftime show of the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, who the hell was that?
What was the story?
Some white rapper kid, and it was just unbelievably bad.
That bad?
No.
So
it was universal how bad it was.
Had me wishing Kid Rock had come back to do the halftime show.
When we were watching Dolly Parton, it got us thinking about others who are, older and really good for their age, or not just their age,
at
any age.
Me?
Well, Jeff Defo DeForest, obviously looking great. Bonnie DePacio, gonna see her for dinner
looks
tonight.
Like a kid.
I don't even want to say the number that she is because it just.
Where are you going?
Compute.
Are you taking her to the Seville? She loves
We're going to
Seville.
go to the Seville tonight.
Oh
maybe
I'll join you. Maybe I'll.
We were going to go to Heritage, but the original booking was at 5:00, and we didn't realize the Dolphin game was right in the middle of it. So we're going to go a little bit later. And I need just a nice light piece of fish tonight. I already texted Joey.
How many tea-giving dinners did you ultimately end up having?
Including the ones from last week at Delaware and Batch and yesterday.
I'm counting them all.
I guess we're going at like number 5 or something like that.
What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Are we doing full Thanksgiving dinners, all the sides and the desserts and whatnot?
Pretty much all of it.
No,
what we saw.
That just means you've eaten turkey 5
Luby,
times. We got to clarify.
No, I always sample all the sides, and I did follow the critics' rule yesterday of get little things and just have 2 bites of everything. But I'm telling you, when you have 2 bites of 12 different side dishes,
I couldn't breathe after
and
a
the
while.
turkey, and you go back to back, the old Louis C.K. bang bang, as he called it, where you go right from one meal to another, and everything was spectacular. I don't want to get into. I didn't want to do any rankings or head-to-head matchups. That could lead to nothing but trouble.
You looked like the judges, like I was telling you, at the Chavez-Whitaker fight in San Antonio, where you called the draw, when it had to be overwhelming one way or the other. I know you can't admit to it, which is good. But, no, you had to be diplomatic, Michael. That was good. I mean, you were at the girlfriend's house and the ex-wife's house. And I don't know that you realized that Val was such a good cook.
I know that. And she has a very strong holiday game. And she was cocky beforehand. She says, I own Thanksgiving. When she lays down
and you were acting like, you weren't going to eat anything there. And that was not going to be considered insulting.
No.
Yes, you did. You were on the show. Go back, people, to Thursday. What was it, Wednesday's show?
I said I was going to have a
Tuesday's show when we were with Queep. And you said, oh, yeah, well, I'll just pass on that. I'll have a drink with my ex, with the girlfriend, and then I'll go to the ex.
Now, and the way you frame this, first of all, it's like Val and her whole family, and they were down in Coconut Grove, and it was a beautiful gathering.
In the Grove, no less.
15 people, beautiful house,
Here's
older bungalow.
Way to get us
and then, again, it wasn't so much as going to my ex-wife, who's going to my daughters. I want to spend time with Natalia. This is her last Thanksgiving.
What was the location of the dinner? Whose home was it?
At her my daughter where she lives with her mom, who happens to
Oh,
be
my God,
my
you were-
ex-wife.
You sound
but-
like Bill Belichick at a press conference. I mean,
I
did you
really
really
are
mean to
much
run the
mouthing
ball?
this. I'm thinking there was something that was particularly great at the ex-wife's. And that's the
Everything was
reason we're
great
going
at
It's
the
now.
always good
place.
there.
Yeah.
And he brought the turkey.
Because
Let me give you the
I don't
rundown.
want to do the rankings.
Delaware.
Means something
First of
I don't
all,
want to say is clearly number one.
Here was the kind of funny part is they're very similar.
You know we had a tag team working against you here
this-
today.
I'm so
We're just
screwed,
going to kill you.
especially if anybody is watching right now. No, both of them procured their birds from Delaware Chicken and Seafood. Of course, we love them, and they got
Yes.
through the week. I spoke to
Oh,
Jose.
both of them got them there.
Yeah, both of them. I mean,
All right, so they're on equal. It's like a Gordon Ramsay thing where they're
Both
on
of
equal
them
grounds, equal ingredients.
got birds
Yeah.
from Delaware. Both of them did a 24-hour brine. Now, the ingredients in the brine were a little bit different. Michelle does an apple cider
Who
brine.
won that one on your decision?
Oh, the brining was both great because both of them came out tender. That's a draw. Both of them came out tender.
I love when you scramble verbally.
Michelle has a new double oven, so she can bake different things at different temperatures. She was like a kid in a candy store, like on Christmas, because she got new appliances this past year, specifically with the holidays in mind. And so she was able to
Specifically with you in mind, I think.
No,
I mean,
it
she just
doesn't-
wanted to,
she cooks for herself.
show you
Rub
what she
your
was
nose
capable
in
of.
it. Yeah.
Um,
I couldn't remember.
So-
I was with my first wife, and I couldn't remember if she cooked well or not. Is that is that bad?
That means
If-
you did not cook
did not
well.
cook well. Did not. If you
But
can't
she did
remember,
turn me on to Tony's Casanopolis, which we often talk about as being one of the great restaurants ever in Miami history.
So can I talk about some of the highlight dishes?
Yes.
At both
Yeah, let's hear
locations?
about it. Let's hear about
Okay. Val did particularly well with she does this broccoli cheese casserole. It looked like a lasagna. It looked like Tommy T's lasagna, which we'll get
Really?
into
You're
in a
leading
moment.
with broccoli cheese
Yeah,
casserole?
it was
cheese you're going to
great.
brag about?
It was great. And then she does the classic Campbell soup, cream of mushroom green bean
Oh,
casserole.
look at you, Mr. Sushi.
That was
That's
excellent.
me.
That's for Ken, the professor. Who's
Oh,
got
my
the sushi
God.
today.
What did he get,
going
like
light
7
with
of
the
them?
fish.
2.
The other stellar sides there, she did like 2 types of sweet potato dishes. One was like kind of
like
a
Quee
chunky,
recommended with the fingers.
there you go. A chunky sweet potato casserole with candied walnuts. And then another one that was like a smoother, more classic sweet potato pie that was kind of whipped with butter and a little bit simpler.
But you went sweet potato,
yeah,
not
but-
pumpkin.
No. This is not the dessert. This is side dishes along with the turkey.
She did
Now-
a sweet potato pie for
It's sweet
a side
potatoes.
dish.
It's
Ooh.
like casseroles. It's sweet potato.
Okay.
It's like casseroles. One of them is kind of whipped and is more a little bit sweet. The other one was like chunkier with these walnuts, candied walnuts. Both of those were great. They are classic mashed potatoes. But again, the turkey was stellar. They also had a ham there from Costco. I'm not a big ham guy, being a Jew from Brooklyn, but I had a slice.
You don't
of
like
that.
ham?
I mean,
What's the
I
matter with
eat it. I don't go crazy for it,
Yeah.
especially when it's the rings and it's sliced and it's
Yeah,
already.
that's the best way to have a ham is the rings.
Well,
and
it's the only
slice.
way to, I guess,
Yeah.
that you would serve
Can I
it
grab
at a
one of these?
holiday
Yeah,
function.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, I don't go crazy for the ham, except maybe on Easter occasionally. But now going to part 2,
Very good.
Michelle did a stellar. Oh, both of them had deviled eggs that were
Wait,
really
wait.
good. Deviled eggs.
Dressing
That's-
or stuffing?
So I don't know the difference, but both of them also did similar stuffings with sausage. Both of them had sausage in it.
Sausage is a solid choice.
And again, it was different. I'm kind of like a simple guy on the holidays. I like the stovetop stuffing, but neither one. These both did.
Very pedestrian
Scratch.
for a guy of your.
They both
Yeah, I
did
know.
scratch-made stuffing. Both of them with
For
sausage.
a man with an elite palate,
yeah.
shouting out stovetop.
Let's get some
There's
stovetop and
sometimes
maybe
I
some
like to
Kraft
get it.
macaroni and cheese.
I like to go to the. I like to go to the simple things of life.
You want to be
Yeah.
a man of the people.
Yeah.
Man of the people. Yes. Anyway, now I got to give props.
Hardly reflected in your comments. on
Number
Let's Eat Stuff Hard.
2 at Michelle, she does every year this potatoes au gratin, like layered with the sliced in the mandolin potatoes. What do they call it? Like a scalloped potato, but with layers of creme fraiche, which she makes on herself.
Great
she
base
doesn't
sauce, by the way.
she doesn't make she doesn't buy store bought what's it called, a sour cream or creme fraiche. She just like makes it on her own. All the different cheeses. She also made for the first time macaroni and cheese because my daughter wanted it, and she does this cauliflower casserole souffle that's also creamy. That was excellent. I mean, all these side dishes. I basically woke up this morning with a jabbing pain in my lower left side because my diverticulitis kicked in, which is what happens when you eat too many rich foods at one time. I probably consumed about 10 to 12,000 calories yesterday, and I may have had a little bit of leftovers at about 10:30 as the 49ers were putting the finishing touches on the
Now, what's your go-to
Seattle.
turkey leftover sandwich? What's the composition?
I'll let Defo go first because
You know what? I didn't take home any turkey yesterday. We had my son decided to have the thing catered, like I said, from Whole Foods, and I brought the Tommy T lasagna. There were other dishes. I have to say this. I don't know how you feel about this, Professor. These Costco pies.
Oh God,
You don't like them?
they're too much. There's always.
I mean, this
they're the
apple
size
pie
of a
was
wagon
insane.
wheel,
Yeah, I mean, it was
and
literally like
there's always like
a
half
tire
or
and
more left over.
it was unbelievable. Yeah, but I have to say I really enjoyed this apple pie. I had a
Okay.
little tiny piece, and the pumpkin pie was good.
Well, you know my opinion. If you're doing something other than pumpkin, you're doing it right.
You don't like pumpkin. I do like pumpkin. It's because my dad made a dynamite pumpkin pie, and I consider that a big staple in a Thanksgiving meal. So it was nice to conclude with that. Although I needed nothing after consuming everything that was on the table for
so
Thanksgiving.
now, I don't
And
know
yes,
if I
we had
missed it.
a Costco pumpkin pie at my gathering, and it was
It was humongous.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the size of this table.
We
There's no
went
question.
light on the desserts.
I hardly had any, but I had a little bite. I have to say.
My daughter baked brownies in the individual tins, so it comes out more like a brownie cupcake. And she used the Duncan Hines mix, the turtle mix, which has the caramel and the pecans in it.
Yeah,
and that was a nice touch. And then
I'm all
we
over
just
the
had a
Professor Sushi.
store-bought apple pie from Publix with a little Tillamook vanilla ice cream a la mode on top,
the
which
Nice.
is nice.
the
That was
Tillamook
and that was
people
your
make
second
good
meal.
products.
Wow.
Tillamook in Oregon, very good dairy. They've got good cheeses and fine ice creams. Defo, did I hear the details about the Tom T lasagna? Was I in?
It was
La
great.
Land?
No, I mean it's such a delicious dish. It may be one of the great dishes that's made here in South Florida. And what I'm happy about, the Lauderdale Ale House is the name of the place that he was at. And this was the first time starter over there, right, for Tom. And they had the sign, Tom's Louisiana Kitchen. And it looked like he was kicking butt. I've been there before. So when you said it was difficult to find, you were absolutely right. It's not easy to find, even if you were in Magellan.
It's tucked by the airport
Yeah.
and the port. And it's like around a windy road. You got to make a U-turn and then
And
bang a
GPS
right.
was taking me on a lot of side roads. Like I had no idea where the hell I was going. It didn't make any sense to me until I got there. And he was doing great. I've been there before. They have live music there sometimes that they used to. And I've been there to see the great Alba Castilla. And they do a really, really nice job. So, wow, look at you, Mr. Flounder.
Got the flounder, a little fish.
But Tom is doing well there. It looks like he's going to come back. And
He's going to be back at Riverside Market in Fort Lauderdale this Saturday, and that's a good news because he is.
Saturday, like
Yeah.
tomorrow.
That would be tomorrow. I've lost all
Yeah.
track of days. Do me one favor, Professor. Can you just tilt the screen and the camera down a little bit so the people out there, if there is anybody watching, thank you,
Can get a view of the food.
could get
The
a
real
peek
star of the
at
show.
our food. And let's see.
wow, look at what
maybe
we got here, man.
We got.
That flounder looks good.
What's
we've
left
got
of the sushi?
we've got flounder. We've got.
Is Joe
sushi.
Beja on the scene today?
We got Joe is supposedly coming. He'll be talking about next month's
Great.
Taste of the Track.
Oh, and you were
which
here
is
for
gonna be
that
a
rum
holiday.
thing, too.
And that was last week. Was the Caribbean Festival and the
How
rum.
was that?
And it was excellent.
How was the
It was-
food?
The food was actually very good, and the crowd was excellent. And they had a whole bunch of different things. They had Jamaican beef patties. They had
Wow.
this very good, the Cuban marinated mojo roast pork. That was to me the star of the show. They had the little picadillo cups in the tostones and the plantain cups. They had some Haitian, the griot, they call it, the fried pork cubes with pickles. So they had Haiti represented. They had Cuba. They had Jamaica. They had some jerk chicken. And I know, it was just a very well-attended, good, healthy mix of people. And what I like is that a lot of the people here didn't seem to be regular racetrackers, but Joe B gives out those $2 betting vouchers when you when you walk in along with the program. So everybody gets a free bet, and the ones that actually cash end up getting hooked on racing, which is good. We want people to.
First grandson, Liam, actually hit with one of those $2 vouchers.
There
on
you
his
go.
very first racetrack bet.
That's always a good
He got
thing.
back 1460, which he wasn't aware of, so I bet that subsequently and lost it all for him. But yeah, I was on one of the vouchers from the little burger slider thing that they have going. What was that? Bourbon and barbecue.
Burgers, barbecue,
Yeah.
and beer, and bourbon. Burgers, barbecue, and bourbon.
Mm.
Which is the first one of those I went here for.
Yeah.
Please. But the great Mike Nyman, who was here at the time, did not warn me, like, you want to get here early. Because by the time we showed up that day, the line was like around the corner.
Well, they do
Which
a nice
is what's
job.
great, which Joe's doing with this VIP hour.
Right.
Yeah,
You show up hour early.
Right.
Couple of bucks extra, bingo, you're in.
So now he's been tasked with doing it every month, and he's coming up with ideas for each month. Next month is going to be a holiday theme where he's going to have things for Christmas and for, I assume, maybe a couple of potato pancakes for Hanukkah. And that's going to be, instead of being on a Saturday like this past one was, it's going to be on a Sunday. And I think it's Sunday, December 17th. I got to look at my calendar, but he'll talk about that in a minute. That was an excellent time had by all. And you know what? Maybe let's take our first break. Oh, do you want to get to the contest first? I forgot. We got to do a contest.
You're so
today.
gone again.
I'm not gone. I'm just trying to get the trains
No, the
rolling
professor
on
and I would
in a
have,
direction.
a legitimate reason to maybe, lose track of what was going on the show. But
You know
have
what would
none
be
at this point.
interesting for the holiday feast? What's the traditional Kwanzaa fare?
I don't know.
You could research that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it's got to
he'll
be
research
something.
them. Yeah.
What is it? I mean,
We will.
I don't know.
We
I
will
feel
find
for
out.
like Ramadan, you get to rip down one of those hostage posters. That could be a celebration.
Now, let's not go there, Ken. That is not fair, and that's not right. Ramadan.
you want to issue a disclaimer here? Those are
Yeah.
the words of the professor. And the professor.
No, I mean,
I'm
I
sorry.
have many Muslim friends, and I've gone to the Ishtar, the breaking the fast meals at some local mosques, and I've gone to the Eid al-Fitr, breaking the fast. I know, Ken. But
of course,
this is
Mayo's the only guy in South Florida who's actually gone to one of these things and is familiar with.
Yeah,
with
so
several thousand Muslims.
That's perfect.
Anyway, we will research what the proper Kwanzaa thing is.
What did Chris Jackson change his name to?
Um,
Mahmoud
Mahmoud
Abdul
Abdul Rauf.
I say.
Yeah.
That would be cool to go to his house.
You know what? He was misunderstood. He was largely misunderstood.
I have a problem with
Did you ever
everything
see
he
the
did.
documentary on this
Yes.
guy? He's actually a good guy.
No.
Yeah.
The same with the other one. For the Raptors, not the Raptors, the Grizzlies. Sharif Abdul-Rahim was a real good
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, they really
won
dumped on
NBA
this
Man of the
guy,
Year,
and he turns out to be a very sincere individual.
I want to talk about the Dolphins' debut on Hard Knocks because it had a lot of food angles. But we're going to do that after we do the first break and after we start the contest.
All right, let's
Because
get into it,
the
man. Come on.
contest, believe it or not, it's going to be the easiest contest of all time, folks. It's going
Really?
to tie into our first live spot.
In terms of the restaurant?
Everything, Defo. It's all going to be
And
so
the winner
easy.
of tomorrow's feature race?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's easy. Maybe
And
people
the
will be able to
Dolphins,
see things clearly into
you can't
the
include
future.
a Dolphin game this week.
Here we go. It's time for this week's Lunchbox Gulfstream 10 Palm Sunday Brunch giveaway. Email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia questions, along with the horse selection for this week's contest race. It's going to be an 11-horse field. So you're going to want to send a number from 1 to 11, along with the football tiebreaker, and we're going to get into that in a minute, to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. Again, noon tomorrow, Saturday, November 25th. It happened again last week, Defo. Somebody sent me the pics on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and they got the wrong horse. That takes a special talent, right?
Wow.
there.
Oh, really? After the race? They still
After
couldn't
the
get it?
race, I don't know if they got
I'm
hung
one
up.
of the best post-race handicappers out there.
If their email server just held it for 25, I don't even know, but it didn't hit my inbox till Sunday at 2 p.m., and they were wrong on the race. All right, this week's contest race is Saturday's 10th race at Gulfstream. The 10th race is in a $43,000 allowance, going 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather track, post time scheduled for 4:36 p.m., and again, numbers 1 through 11. And then with the Dolphins playing today, we've got to make the tiebreaker a different game. We're going to go with
Make it the result of that game.
No,
They
because
have till noon tomorrow.
they
They
have-
still might not get it according to what's been happening.
we're going to make it the biggest college game of the weekend, which, of
Oh.
course, is, Professor, what is the biggest game this weekend tomorrow?
Florida State and Florida.
Nope. It will be Ohio State, Michigan.
You're
And
just sucking up to the
uh,
Midwest people.
I am sucking
What
up
do you think?
to the college
Professor?
rankings.
Ohio State or Michigan?
Slight lean Ohio State just because of the Harbaugh factor, but and let's be honest, We'll find out if the Ohio State players like Ryan Day or not, because he's clearly getting fired if he loses 3 in a row.
You think he gets fired?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
You
loses
can't
this year.
lose to Michigan.
I would
times in a row.
say if he loses to a Harbaugh-less Michigan for the 3rd year in a row,
That's it. Ed Ogeron time.
60 to 70% chance he's at Texas A&M next year.
All right.
Wow,
There we
good,
go.
Good call. No one even, honestly, nobody knows more about college football than this guy. I was thinking about that today. Very lucky to have the professor as a handicapper on
He
our
studies
programs.
it. He
No, but I
definitely
mean the
studies it.
stuff that he and the Polyman, a huge fan of the show now, a huge Mike Mayo fan, acknowledges this all the time. Nobody knows more about college football than
And
the
we
professor.
finally had a good week last week. 4-1 on the show last week.
I knew you were going to come
About
around.
time now.
I knew you were going to come around.
All right, so the 3 components, which is going to be the answer to the restaurant questions, which are coming in a second, the winner of the 10th race tomorrow at Gulfstream, numbers 1 through 11, and the winning team and victory margin in tomorrow's Buckeyes, Wolverines, Ohio State,
Ooh,
Michigan
that's a
game,
rough
which
one.
starts at
Yeah.
noon. So we'll know the answers very soon in the afternoon tomorrow. Again, make a prediction, say Buckeyes by 4 points or Wolverines by
What's your
18
prediction?
points. I don't even know. I'm going to say this is going to get me in trouble with Michelle because she
Be honest.
is a Buckeye, but I think Michigan at home, somehow Ohio State is going to do the old choke job again. It's going to be Michigan by 5. Now, 5 is a weird number. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
say 5 points.
5's a very weird
That's
number.
I'm a weird guy. Michigan by 5.
Okay.
And whoever comes closest will that's the tiebreaker. And if anybody has all 3 parts, we go to the tiebreaker hat on Monday. All right, you ready for the
What's
freaking
the clue
clues?
already? Jeez. No,
Maybe
you're
I
all
should
right.
start with the clues.
That would help.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
here
good.
you go.
Let's get the first part.
For this week's restaurant, we celebrate the upcoming holiday season and Thanksgiving yesterday with a Lunchbox and Let's Eat South Florida favorite that handles large holiday crowds
wow,
with
wow.
grace and aplomb.
What a giveaway, man.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get Joe B on here, but
We're going to get him in, man.
we're going to
Keep
get him
going.
in.
Keep
I
going.
forgot. We're going to
We'll
kick
get
the
commercials
professor
in. We'll
out.
get a lot of stuff
All right.
going. Yeah.
Clue number 1. This restaurant opened in 1949, has survived and rebuilt after 2 fires, and had 1,080 reservations on the books for Thanksgiving yesterday.
I'm making way for Joe B.
Besides turkey dinners, they also dished out their fair share of signature prime rib and steak. Do you know the answer, Defo? Of course he knows the answer. I don't know if I ticked Defo off or not, but he's running out of here. He's running out. All right, we're in the middle of the contest, Joe. We made it an easy one for the post.
Wow. I heard it already.
You know, this
as
is
soon as
our-
I heard 1949, I'm like, there's probably only like one restaurant that we all know and love.
that we all know and love.
Yes.
I got to give the people because it's going to be a hard
It's a
one this
gimme.
week with 11 horses in the contest race and Ohio State Michigan game. Do you have a prediction for the Ohio State Michigan game?
I think Michigan.
That's what
without
I just
Harbaugh.
said. By
I
how
think
many
so.
points?
Not much. I think it's gonna be a close one. But again, I think they have a lot of talent this year.
Okay.
I know they could say the recruiting,
Me and
the,
you are-
the sign stealing, whatever. But I think they just also have
We're
a lot of talented
aligned. I
players.
said Michigan by a little, and the professor Ken here says Ohio State by a little. So we will
Yeah.
see. And again, clue number 2. The restaurant has a landmark neon sign on Federal Highway in Dania Beach, which is about 2 miles east of where the restaurant actually stands on Griffin Road.
Yep.
And let's just finish it up. Clue number 3. The Harvey family of Yonkers, New York, were the restaurant's original owners, but they sold in the early 1960s to their cousins, the Studiales, who still run it today. And a fun fact, late proprietor Sam Studiale was an avid horse racing fan and once sponsored a race recap show that aired on local television.
Wow.
It was called Today at the Races.
Wow, I did not know
Um,
that.
Yeah, so you learn something new every day. Jack, who is now running the joint, Jack Studiale, not as much into the race game, but he always talks fondly about his dad's trips to Gulfstream and other local facilities. So,
His son Joe comes here for Sunday brunch every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
loves it here.
yeah, we love Joe. We love
Yep.
Jackson, who he calls his adoptive son.
Yep.
And you guys know it because I'm going to give a live spot for it right now. And how do I do that without saying the name?
I just have one more fun fact. Yonkers, New York,
Yep.
home of the original location, is also my hometown.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yes,
spent
it
a
is.
couple of days at the Yonkers Raceway?
Yonkers
Maybe.
Raceway, yes.
Yes.
Grew up on that block, went to grade school on the same block as the racetrack. Used to find the hole in the fence whenever I could, obviously, to get in there. No, the restaurant, almost said it there, in Yonkers was before my time, but
All
still
right.
heard a lot about it from my folks.
Well, then there was another restaurant up there, the Candlelight. It was like Patricia something or other, and she came down and operated another one of her Candlelight restaurants at what's
Yeah.
now Bahia Mar. But that started in Yonkers. Yonkers seems
Yeah.
to be like the birthplace of
The-
all these kind of iconic
the
restaurants. that moved
Candlelight
south.
Inn is what you're talking about on
Yeah.
Central Avenue,
Yeah.
further up, same location as where this other restaurant that we're talking about
Yeah.
now is located. And the Candlelight Inn always had old school walk in, put your pencil name on the list. They called you out. Honestly, great sandwiches, and I used to love going there for buffalo chicken fingers. I always thought they had like
Yeah,
great
it's,
sauce and everything.
good stuff. All right,
Good bar food.
let's take our first break, and I'll talk more about this other place later in the show. But I think everybody knows it. It's a gimme. Again, send answers, restaurant number 1 through 11 for the 10th race tomorrow, and the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game and the winning margin, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. And let's take our first break, Professor, and we'll be back. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova, or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox, joined now by the magnificent Executive Director of Hospitality here at Gulfstream Park Racing and Casino, Joe Beja. Welcome back to the Lunchbox. How are you, and how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Thank you. Just my mother and my daughter, so just the three of us. It was nice at home. And I know I mentioned that after years and years in the hotel business, being at Gulfstream Park for the past 7 years, it's nice to actually have the day off and not be feeding the masses, 500 or 600 people. So
nice. But you guys are back in action today and tomorrow. But speaking of days off, you guys, it's an unusual schedule this week. The track is dark on Sunday, right? And that means 10 Palms and no Sunday brunch this week.
Correct. That is correct. Very odd to have a day off like that. Something with the filing of the days of the live racing days with the state commission.
Okay.
That we just think we added one in December on a certain day, and therefore we sacrificed
something in November.
For that.
I see that Tampa Bay Downs did the exact same thing. They are not racing this Sunday either, which is, again, unusual and one of the vagaries of our pari-mutuel laws in this state. But okay, but just a word of advice for people out there, and thankfully don't worry about that. None of the contest winners are in the books for coming in this Sunday, because if they did, we'd have to reschedule them. But if anybody was planning on maybe having a nice Sunday brunch here at Gulfstream this weekend, again, it's not going to happen at 10 Palms, but you will have other areas of the
track first floor. Yes, the first floor will be open. The casinos will be open. So, if you want to watch simulcast racing, Silks will be open, and we have our pizzeria down there and our chicken wings and the deli counter and so forth.
And then next week, I can't believe it, a week from today, it is not only the 1 year anniversary of the Lunchbox starting its relationship with Gulfstream and 10 Palms. Yeah. It's also the start of the championship meet, which means all the big outfits, trainers, jockeys, horses will be coming to town, getting ready for all the big winter of racing. And what does that mean for you here in terms of the food and beverage and 10 Palms?
From an operation standpoint, we'll go to 4 days a week, since live racing will start on Thursday. And then come January 1, and we start for January, February, March, we'll be racing 5 days a week. So ramping up operations for the additional days. And looking forward to a very busy year. We get a little more crowds. The week between Christmas and New Year's, it's busy every day here. You'd think Wednesday was a Saturday with the amount of people that will come in here.
There's all these people who are making vacations and snowbirds and retirees and just people playing hooky, like me and Defo are known to do occasionally. It's going to be an exciting time, and we look forward to another great winter season of racing, culminating with the Florida Derby Day. And it's going to be fantastic. But also, because you don't have enough on your plate, Joe, and now you've been tasked with doing these monthly instead of just maybe seasonally, the taste at the track.
Correct.
And we had another stellar edition last weekend. I was telling Ken here that really you did a fantastic job with the rums and the Caribbean Festival. And I thought the crowd, the mix, the food, the rum drinks and the food was the best one yet. I mean, it's hard to compare all of them. It depends if you like tacos and the burgers and the barbecue, but this, I go crazy for. You have that beautiful mojo roasted pork, the Cuban dishes. You had some of the Jamaican beef patties and jerk chicken. You had even the Haitian food represented with the griot and pickles. So job well done last week. And what's coming up for next month?
So keeping it simple, obviously, we're going to do a Sunday brunch style upstairs for the holidays. So it's a holiday brunch theme. It'll be Sunday, December 17th.
Okay.
Tickets are on sale right now at the www.gulfstreampark.com website. There'll be a link that could take you to VIP, which is $75 per person, or the GA, which is $50 per person. And we don't have a set list just as of yet for menu, which should come out probably today. So I'll have it ready for next week.
Any holiday, like, I guess, drink themes, eggnog and whatnot?
Yep. Yes, we'll make our own in-house coquito. Believe it or not, my Pernod Ricard representative reached out to me, let me know that Screwball is making an eggnog.
I don't even know what a Screwball eggnog is. Do you know that?
I'm assuming they are a distillery based on the context, but I don't know that for a fact.
If you haven't had peanut butter whiskey, then you could buy a bottle of Screwball.
Okay.
And then they put eggnog in it.
I can't say I've had peanut butter whiskey.
I can't say it ever occurred to me to want to have
it's but you know what? I'm sure the concoction that they come up with for the holidays will be delicious and nutritious. Maybe with eggnog, you can get your protein and stuff.
Yeah.
Why not?
By the way, we were talking about this going into the last break, and I was trying to be a smartass and ask what the traditional Kwanzaa foods are so you
Yes.
can spread those out. Now I want Kwanzaa foods.
What is it?
It's like a mix of Ethiopian and New Orleans.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it's like starches range and can include rice or couscous, candied yams, buttermilk biscuits, spoon bread, plantains, fritters, hoppin' john, and injera.
Hoppin' John. Is Hoppin'
Wow.
John black-eyed peas or what is Hoppin' John? I should
Onions
know
and
this.
black-eyed peas.
Okay,
And
so-
rice.
And again, that's usually New Year's tradition for a lot of
Yeah.
people is black-eyed peas. For those from German and European descent, it's pork and sauerkraut. And for those in the American South, it's a lot of black-eyed peas. And of course, Haitian friends, soup jumu, which I know about now because my mom's health aides are both Haitian, and they make every year for New Year's Day. It's also Haitian Independence Day. Soup jumu is a delicious made with a base of that winter squash, the pumpkin squash that they have down in the Caribbean, and they throw in the kitchen sink. There's like noodles and
Yeah.
potatoes and vegetables, and sometimes they throw in some meat and oxtail.
Yeah.
I guess you're not going to have that at the holiday party, but with New Year's coming, I love just embracing all cultures and foods at this
Yeah.
time of year. And give me an excuse, I'll eat it. And again, between Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah,
Yeah.
and Festivus for the rest of us.
Us.
And we're going to be airing grievances next month.
I was
So
about to say, I got a lot of problems with you people.
feats of strength and whatnot, but I love all of it. And Joe B, here at the track, you guys are just really I don't know how you do it. I don't know what you're going to come up with for January. Do you know January yet?
That'll be the 1 month I will skip because of Pegasus.
Okay.
That's a way too much on my plate.
Okay.
But
So
the
you
following week after Pegasus is Holy Bull. So we go back to bourbon and barbecue, tie in the whole bull and bourbon and
nice.
barbecue.
Okay.
And then the first Saturday of
March
March
got to be
will be Fountain of Youth.
Yep.
So I figure Ponce de Leon and tacos and tequila. I know it was a horse. I know Fountain of Youth was a horse. But still, we do tacos and tequila.
okay. Oh, so
And
you're
we
going
repeat.
back to
Those two are repetitive.
Okay.
We do those twice a year because they're
twice a
so
year.
popular.
They're too popular. Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
then on Florida Derby Day, the price will go up on that day because we'll have what we call wine and derby. So we'll have some high-end stations carving prime rib and things like that.
Nice.
And we'll have about 10 to 12 wine vendors pouring white wine and rosé and red wine and so forth. So my costs go up a little bit, and it's a big day at the track, so the prices go up a little bit. They're usually double on that day.
I don't mind paying for quality, Joe, and I
Yeah.
know it's going to be a quality time. Thanks so much, my friend. Have a
Yeah.
great rest of the holiday weekend. I guess
Thank you.
I don't know if you do any shopping or just chilling out, but at least you get a little Sunday off
Yeah.
for a rare occasion, and we
Yeah.
do appreciate you and are grateful and thankful for everything you and Gulfstream Park have done for us the entire year long. Can't believe 50 weeks. This is our 50th
Yeah.
week, Professor.
Nice.
Wow,
And time flies when you're having fun and
it does.
eating. And I got to give props again. This flounder, perfectly crisp on the outside, and it melts in your mouth. I don't know who your fish chef is here, but they deserve a raise. Every week the fish
Yeah.
comes out spectacularly. So
I'll let Valentina know. A
Excellent.
lovely girl by the name of Valentina is on the
Excellent.
saute today.
all good. All right, let's put in a couple of words for our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market in Hollywood. They got through it the biggest week of the year for them, Thanksgiving. I spoke to Jose, the manager, this morning. He's a little bit exhausted, but they did get through. And but he said they were packed today because with the Dolphins playing and
Yeah.
a big holiday weekend of shopping and whatnot, people are coming in and picking up the stone crabs, picking up some of that great Key West pink shrimp, some of the Florida lobster tails, all the great delicious seafood. I don't think anybody's picking up a turkey today. If they do, they're a little late to the party, but they do have some of the great poultry, ducks, chicken wings, and whole chickens and things that you can throw on the barbecue for your football tailgate parties this weekend and beyond. Delaware is at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. They're open 7 days a week, and they are at DelawareChicken.com is the website where you can check out the weekly specials and the daily offerings. Go to Delaware Chicken Farm. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we'll be back. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings?
Show is brought to you by visitlauderdale.com.
Box. I've got a mouthful of lettuce, which is actually surprising considering I do need many more salads in my life. Defo, have you been hitting anything, or are you?
No, I'm striking out, man. I'm going to have to hit the ATM machine is my next move. If I don't hit here with Tyler Gaffleone.
Well, let me give you a sure thing. Try some of this flounder because that is some delectable fish. It melts in your mouth. You think it's like a little crispy on the outside.
Looks good, man.
And some of those potatoes are just like melt in your mouth, delicious.
I'm trying to bite because you always recommend the fish here.
Fish here is excellent. Yeah. And again, I'm going to be doing a little bit more
I have to
fish.
say, it wasn't exactly, Kui at Kaizen, but what do you think of the sushi, Professor? You're a connoisseur of this kind of stuff.
Pretty solid. I mean,
great.
you can't, honestly, everything we've had here, it's been, high quality.
Joe has done a great job.
Underrated fish in Florida because people don't think about flounder.
Yeah, they don't. It's not a native fish. It's mainly a northern Atlantic, the New England area. I remember I would always
New York too, man.
Flounder,
catch a lot of flounder in New York.
Cod, scrod. Are they all the same fish? They just call them different things?
No, not at all. Flounder made well is really, really good.
You look so happy right now.
I have no idea what the.
You have no
Are
idea
they
what's
all the
going
same?
on.
I assume a flounder and a cod.
I take the responsibility for the professor's performance of today's show.
Saboteur. It's all
No,
good.
no,
We're
I
having
think
a
it's
holiday
enhanced.
weekend. I can't believe I'm a teetotaler, but I'm going to be doing
There's
some
something
heavy
wrong with
drinking.
you, though. I mean, you don't want to admit to yourself that you want to have fun. Let go, man. That's my advice
I
to you.
have tons of fun.
For 2024, just completely let go.
So much fun.
Yeah.
It's just
All
hard to believe. So I did want to talk about, did any of you gentlemen watch the first edition of the Hard Knocks Dolphins?
No, I don't get HBO
on
anymore,
HBO.
Yeah,
I don't either, but I did
You
manage.
poached it? How?
No, I went again at Michelle's house. She gets HBO. She's into the Dolphins. She taped it, and we watched it last night after the Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things. Did you see it, Professor?
Yes.
Okay. Here are my 3 takeaways.
Okay.
And there were other things too. And there was a lot of food involved too. A lot of food was
Nachos
involving.
supposedly were a big
Yeah,
thing.
we're going to talk about that. But takeaway number 1: Mike McDaniel curses more than Luby. I did not realize he is such a potty mouth, but
You
he's
wouldn't think
dropping F-bombs every other word, to whether it's speeches, in the meeting room to the team overall or on the sidelines. This guy, you would have thought he grew up in Brooklyn with us, Defo.
Yeah, the best ever on Hard Knocks, and I don't know if McDaniel eclipsed this, was our good buddy who you were familiar with when you were sports writing, Mike Westhoff.
Oh, yeah.
When he was with the Jets and they did the Hard Knocks on the Jets. And you would have thought Rex would have been the guy that was cursing like every other word. But Westhoff stole the show that entire Hard Knocks, all of those episodes. And I didn't know he cursed that much because I've talked to him a million times. I never heard him.
I talked to Westhoff, but again, you would talk to him on the air, on the
How
radio.
did we not have Hard Knocks here the year our offensive line coach was snorting coke in the office and sending money to a stripper every day?
They really missed the boat.
I thought he was
How
trying to
is
hit
it
on
like-
some hooker in Reno. I mean, professing unwavering love to her. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Or even the one where there was
No
the
wonder they
hazing,
sucked.
or what was his name? The Martin,
Richie,
Jonathan Martin, or Richie?
Jonathan Martin and Richie Incognito.
Yeah.
Oh, Incognito and Jonathan Martin.
But I got to tell you,
That was Dan Campbell, right? I think that was Dan Campbell.
I don't know if he was there then.
Big
Might have been
dumb
Coco
Dan
Cameron.
Campbell.
it was an entertaining hour. But number 1 takeaway, that Luby, who curses a lot when he's off the air here, like dropping F-bomb, McDaniel has him beat. And I like McDaniel even more now because he said something. They have him mic'd up during the games. My biggest problem with him is he always gets too cute and forsakes the easy points.
Yeah.
But he went up at one point. They had him talking to Tua about, he goes, you know me, I never kick. He just admits it. He's trying to, I guess, that's his step. His
You know what?
trademark
You
is
have
he
your
doesn't
style,
trust
you go with it.
Sanders.
Yeah, he'll either succeed or
Even
fail.
if it makes no sense, even if he's forsaking easy points, even if it's going to come back to bite him in the butt one time, which it almost has like 3 or 4 times.
Many times.
But he just, I guess it's a way to endear himself to the offense and his quarterback, that he's going to trust you on 4th, even if it's 4th and 6. He's going to just try to go for that first down.
There's something to be said for that.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, takeaway number 2. The professor, Ken here, would absolutely hate playing defense and maybe getting an interception on this team, because did you see what they do in the defensive? It's like a hokey thing where, it's not like the had their turnover chain.
Right.
But what do they have for the Dolphins?
I have no idea. I don't
You didn't
remember.
see that part?
I know. I probably did see it right at the
You
moment.
blocked
my
it out
brain's not
because you
functioning.
hate it so much. What they do every Wednesday in the defense, or actually it's the whole team meeting, but any player who's come up with a turnover, they award them a whole cake.
Oh.
And it's like they have a screen of how many cakes each player has earned over the season.
All right.
And they give out, I guess they know that they have these specially decorated cakes, and some people like strawberry shortcake, some people like layer cake, but they walk away with these little cakes. It was so cute. And I just imagine, like, for some reason, which I don't know what the psychological, what the deep-rooted thing behind this, why do the professor hates cake?
Yes, it's a vastly inferior. It's flour and sugar. It's crap. I mean,
you
it's a
prefer
very
pies.
inferior product to a pie, but you get cake people who have infiltrated so many cultural institutions. Like, if you ask people, hey, I would like a birthday pie this year, they give you this
They
look
say,
like you
"What's
just
up
said,
with you?"
hey,
Yeah.
I took a dump in your closet. If you tell people,
That's
you know
been
what
done
would be
by a
an
hurricane
interesting
player,
idea?
remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
Najee, the
Najee
dump truck
Davenport, yeah.
Davenport. If you suggest to someone that perhaps they ought to think about a wedding pie, like you start getting death threats from bakers. Like,
Yeah.
We're very bound with tradition. For some reason, Thanksgiving is pie. And I almost brought you, I have a leftover pecan pie. I was going to bring that today.
Cake is an inferior crap that has so culturally dominated the scene that they've convinced people it's a good product
it's a
when it's
reward.
not.
I think he's onto something. I really do. If you
Well,
think
it
about
was very amusing to watch these cakes being handed out. And some of the players would actually take them away and eat them. And then the other ones, like, are trying to watch their, I guess, weight, would give it off to the offensive linemen. There was a couple of people in the
always
front
ready
row.
to have a piece of cake.
And then they went to I guess it was this whole tradition was originated with one of the defensive, I don't know if it was defensive line coach or whatever, but he was explaining that it was just like a silly way to reward people. And he goes, plus guys just really seem to love cake. So most people, unlike the professor, get a little bit giddy at the prospect of being rewarded with the cake.
Again, a lot of people don't think their choice is there. Most people like the Big Mac, even though, let's be honest, among all the fast food
Quarter
burgers,
pounder with cheese.
it's kind of the crappiest.
Yeah, quarter pounder with cheese is definitely the play at
One.
McDonald's.
At McDonald's or overall?
At McDonald's.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
fair.
no, not overall. I don't even want to go there.
Did you see that thing on Let's Eat South Florida, though, where the woman got the Big Mac and it had no burger on it?
No
You must have approved that. I mean,
when
it
did
came
she
with
post that?
It came with the special sauce, lettuce, and cheese, and no
They
burger.
left off the burger. I hope they gave her a
that was
discount.
that
for
was a big thing on Let's Eat South
I
Florida.
missed that one. What,
As the
recently?
administrator, yeah, like last week. What are you talking about? A
I
couple
don't
days
know.
ago.
He could be hallucinating.
I'm not.
It could be.
I'll
but
look. I'll
it
look
sounds
it
like
up.
a valid top. It sounds like something
It
McDonald's
sounds
would
like
pull.
if that actually got posted with a picture, so that would be something I would
They had
remember
a picture
and
of
comment
a
on. But I will.
meatless Big Mac.
You sure that wasn't the?
It wasn't the
burgers
wannabe
and
burger or whatever
fries
that is.
Facebook group. All right. Takeaway number 3 from Hard Knocks. There was a whole brouhaha involving a
kerfuffle, even
a kerfuffle, you could call it, in the
Yes.
stands involving Tyreek Hill's new wife, Tyreek Hill's mom were sitting together, and then a guy behind them, like, I guess there was an accidental dumping of a whole tray of nachos and cheese and everything mainly on the new Mrs. Hill, but
Yes.
a little
Oh, wow.
bit on her mom. However, my takeaway was it was a complete stage setup. And
you think it was a
not only was it because when they went to the instant replay, they saw that it was Tyreek Hill's new wife, who accidentally, while cheering for a touchdown, brushed and like went up and knocked the nachos down behind her. Which kind of saved the gentleman, because as they went back to the replay, they realized that they didn't need to get angry at the guy who allegedly did it. But then what I noticed on further review is that every time they cut to them in the stands in those same seats, there were different people behind them. And the guy who showed up with the nachos, who was wearing like a Waddle jersey or something, was only in the behind them for that sequence where the nachos got dumped.
So you think Tyreek Hill's wife was down for having nachos poured on her
I
head?
think it was a whole conniving plan. I don't trust her. I do love Tyreek Hill's mother, because she is genuine, like a certain type that I've dealt with a lot when I would do profiles of rising stars as they were going from college to the NFL. And again, from people who come from hard scrabble backgrounds in mostly, African-American towns and neighborhoods. She is the type, and I love her. I love everything about her. She seems genuine. But yeah, those are some takeaways. The other takeaway, another food thing, didn't realize, but the offensive line has a weekly dinner out and about in town on Thursday night. And last week they went to a place on Fort Lauderdale Beach called Tocado, which is a high-end sushi and kind of Japanese Asian restaurant right on Fort Lauderdale Beach at the Conrad Hotel. So a lot of food stuff in the Hard Knocks. Cake, nachos, and Tocado restaurant was there for the offing. Did you see the nachos part? Did you have any thoughts of that?
It never occurred to me that it might be a work. It
was a total
assumed
work.
it was a happy accident, but I also didn't go quite as in depth with it. We were noticing who was sitting behind Tyreek's wife and mom. You went a little bit more Zapruder film over the nachos than I personally would have.
Mayo,
This is the fun part when you're
nobody gives a flying
when you're all drunk after the holidays and you have it on the DVR and you could go back and forth and play it, replay it in slow-mo.
The question is, how are you going to close the show after that brilliant dissertation on Hard Knocks?
Well,
by the way,
nobody knows
I'm
what
a
you're
Dolphins
talking about.
fan, and I thought the show was terrible. Like it's always
just
terrible.
because you don't have HBO doesn't mean that everybody doesn't.
Well,
have
yeah,
HBO,
I mean,
and I'm trying to
even those that were watching probably.
I don't know how the NFL has
that.
convinced people over the because it's an NFL Network production.
I used to
right?
like Hard Knocks a lot.
I never liked it. I always thought, like, how did you convince people that this is worth watching? Like,
it was fun in the beginning. It really was. I thought it was.
I like those little glimpses on the sideline where you kind of get the real unvarnished stuff that's going on. And another amusing part yesterday is this is, they turn it around really quick. It's week to week. So it was last Sunday's game against the Raiders where they struggled. But in the first half, Tyreek Hill hurt his hand and he was like trying to shake it off and he was really in pain and wincing. And then what is the first thing he says? He goes, damn, now I can't play Fortnite. That was like what was in his mind. Like, now that my whole season is ruined, I'm not going to get 2,000 yards. It was like, no, he can't play the video game that he loves, which I guess just shows you. I don't know what the hell it shows you. Do you play any of those video games?
No,
Professor.
No. I played Space Invaders.
I'm not even going to ask him. How we're going to close the show out was with back-to-back live spots.
Oh, good, yeah. I mean, let's get focused here, Mayo. Come on, let's get to the
First,
job
we're
at
going
hand.
to talk about VL Food Wine Festival, and we had a great show on Wednesday at the new Bayoshi Food Hall, which is going to be taking part in the Food Fest with that new Asian street-themed event, Walk and Roll, on the Thursday night. But visit Lauderdale Food Wine Festival. It is coming up right after the new year, January 8th through the 14th. Multiple events and venues all over town, intimate dinners at some of our favorite places like Reno, Sorbonne, and Heritage, and Paula da Silva at Burlock Coast, and Timon Baloo at the Catherine. Those are going to be sites of the dinners. And, of course, you got the big four events, 4 nights in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, the bar fight competition. Thursday, the new Asian walk and roll event. Friday, the poolside barbecue, which is a Defo favorite. Saturday, the grand tasting at the Las Olas Beachfront Park. All 4 of those events, if you go online to vlfoodwine.com and you get your tickets, punch in the promo code Lunchbox, and you'll get an extra 15% off the already low ticket prices. Again, those big 4 events, it's going to be taking place the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And again, this is January 8th through the 14th, the whole week of the events. vlfoodwine.com, Lunchbox promo code for additional savings. Makes a great stocking stuffer for the food lover in your life. And last but not least, we got to give some props to our man, Burt Rappaport and his Rappaport's Restaurant Group. Do you know where we're going to be on Monday, Defo?
No idea.
One of the Rappaport restaurants, and that would be Prezzo in Boca
nice
Raton.
Nice
Because after the whole Thanksgiving weekend, who can't stand for a little bit of nice Italian food, get a little maybe a veal or a chicken franchise or a little pasta or a little that panini bread. Man, they make some good sandwiches there. Prezzo in Boca. There's also a location in Palm Beach Gardens, and they're going to be open all weekend, having a lot of fun with the holiday crowds, along with the other Rappaport restaurant groups, Deck 84 and Burton Max's in Delray Beach, and Max's Grill in Boca Raton. Check out all the Rappaport restaurant groups, restaurants for your holiday parties. Makes for a perfect spot, whether you got guests coming in from out of town. Again, family-friendly, pet-friendly on the patios at all of those locations. We love Rappaport's restaurant group. We love Burt Rappaport. Check them out if you're in the Palm Beach, South Palm Beach area. Makes a perfect choice for all the food lovers in your life. All right, Defo, we got through it. Another week. What do you think?
That was good, man. You were talking for the last half hour without a break, but
Well, you know,
it worked out okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice
Wasn't
roll
that
out
something?
there, man.
Did you
Yeah.
notice that too?
So you just kept pressing the
Yeah,
button.
yeah. We just sat here
Yeah.
and
Would you
chilled
like
out for the
to
last
add-
half
well,
hour of
you
the show.
didn't watch the Hard Knocks, and I thought there was some germane
Okay, all right.
topics
You don't have to go
related
through the whole thing again. We don't have so much time here, Mayo. How was the salad, by the way? You didn't make much of a dent in that. I saw you ate the soup. The flounder was really good.
Yeah,
10 palms on her game. I think the professor's sushi was excellent. And the professor, a very, a respectable critic of food. He said, right up there with anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
at this
is at a
point in my
racetrack,
life, I'm
friend.
just grazing a little. I had a bite of this and
All
a
right.
little salad there and a little of the Italian wedding soup. It's all good here at 10 Palms.
And
It
you're
really
taking a
is.
new path starting
Fantastic.
today. Yeah,
new
Fantastic
path.
meal.
What
really, really great.
What would my new path
I don't
be?
know, but I hope it leads somewhere else. All right, we got to get out of here, right? Let's get out of here.
We can get out of here.
I have to hit
Everybody
an
have a
ATM
great
machine. I'm already
weekend.
stuck my
We will
$100.
be back. Go Dolphins or go shopping. The choice is yours on this Black Friday.
How did the Jets stay within 10 with no
How
quarterback?
did the Jets stay in the league?
Do
They
you
should be
remember this guy from
relegated.
college? This guy, is it Tim or Tom Boyle?
Yes. Cal, right?
Is it Tyler Boyle? No, it's Tom
It's
Boyle or something like that.
The
I don't know.
Dow of Boyle.
Boyle,
Or
is the
I
guy's
want
name.
to make sure.
He was
Yes,
at
I'm thinking of.
Connecticut. He had like the worst
Oh, then I have no
stats.
idea who
Yeah.
it is.
Is
I
it
take
Tua
back.
Boyle? No, he went to
Unbelievable.
UConn and he had a interception
Kentucky
to
also.
TD ratio of
Oh,
14
that's
to 1.
how he got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eastern Kentucky after UConn. It was something. All right,
I'm
we got
so-
to get out of here.
I'm
Mayo,
so-
sign off, man. Do your thing.
Well, okay. I was going to talk a little bit more about the Dolphins.
We don't.
but-
We
Well,
won't
go
hear
ahead,
any more
ahead,
about
talk
your
with
Dolphins.
it.
Yeah,
No. I'm
Music's
done.
playing.
No, it's music. Oh, you know what?
Defo must have a
I
race
can't
he needs to
hear-
get to.
No, I gotta get some more
I can't
cash,
hear
man.
the
Oh.
background
So I can even
music,
tip the
so I didn't
waitress.
know he's playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we have a
All
very
right,
weird
everybody,
phenomenon
that's
going
going to do it.
Show's been
Enough
over
of
for half
my
an hour. What are you talking about?
yammering. Have a great holiday weekend. Enjoy every sandwich.